Aaron Thompson broadcasting the Detroit 24 broadcast for Detroit Tigers home opener. Here is your starting lineup for Detroit Tigers. Batting first, right fielder Matt Vierling. Batting second, playing second base, Andy Ibanez. Playing first would be Spencer Torkelson. Playing left, we got Riley Green. Batting third, we got the new Tiger, DH, Mark Cannon. We got third base, Gio Shishada. And batting eighth, the catcher, Jake Rogers. Batting ninth, the shortstop, Javier Baez. And batting glass, the center field is Parker Meadows. And your starting pitcher is Terrence Skubal. And my pick to stick will be Matt Vierling.
Good morning, fellas.
Good morning.
Well, the Tigers are hot garbage, man. The only reason I keep that intro in is out of respect for Eric's brother.
I was about to say, I'll be doing stuff, and then all of a sudden the clip will start, and I'll just stop doing what I'm doing. I've seen it 100 times, but I watch it every time.
Yeah,
it's a great clip.
Well, the Cubs are 10 games back out of first, so if it's any consolation, in last
First place
place
is a lonely place.
Yep. Yankees are one game back, John.
Yeah, we're on a little bit of a slide right now, but
2-8.
Yeah, we'll bounce back.
2-8, bro.
Yeah, you guys grasp that for as long as you can.
We will. We will. It's all we have.
That's right.
Yeah,
well,
I think it's
we have October. We have October to look forward to, and they will be 0-4.
The Tigers will not play in October now, unfortunately.
Hey, they'll play October 1st probably if there's a game that lasts.
Yeah.
I'm excited to prove you wrong. I'm just gonna wait for it to happen.
So a couple of weeks ago, there was word that they might trade Skubal. And And at first I was like pissed. I was like, why the hell did you do that? But now I'm just like, screw it, man. Just sell everybody. Sell the whole damn team.
I relate as a Cubby fan.
Golly.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's 10-year rebuild's getting old, man.
Yeah, you still Skubal though. It just starts it all over.
If you get rid of that dude, man, you're looking at another 10 years.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
It's like
if you keep him, how long are you looking at though?
We paid a lot of money for Shota, and you watch him one game and he's good, and the next game he's terrible. And when he's terrible, put him in to like the 6th inning. It's like, what are you doing? I don't know. Anyways, it's a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, they reported, but back to Skubal just for a second. They reported that the asking price for him is a top 10 prospect, a major league position player, a major league pitcher, and then another top 50 prospect.
Wow.
So I don't know. If you can get that,
I'd give it up.
You almost have to do it.
That's fair. That's a fair.
Here's the problem. Chris Ilitch is incompetent, and he won't get that.
It's those position players. That's where it all rides. It depends on who those position players are.
It's that top 10 prospect. Which one?
You're going to get an 8 or a really good player in that top 10 and probably the top 50. But those position players, you don't know who you're going to get. It could be
right.
So that's where I would say that's where the bet lies there.
Well, and I think that with Skubal, he's under team control for 2 more years. Like straight up 2 more years.
He can't do anything. He's stuck there for 2 years.
Right. So that's why he's valuable. If you trade him, you're getting him for 2 years club control. That's huge. This isn't a free agent. This isn't a rental player. That's why you have to get that ask, or you don't do it.
Well,
Absolutely.
You know what, Eric? I could safely say that the Cubbies are going to probably be in the sell mode at the All-Star break instead of buying players. They're going to be selling them off.
Yeah, I heard Bellinger's a hot name right now.
Yeah, he did a 1-year contract. We got him for 1 year, and yeah, yeah, I'm sure he's going to be gone, and Morel and whoever. I don't know. It's going to be they're going to be in a selling mode. I know that. Anyways, enough of that.
Yeah, and hometown hero Eric Haas made his way back to the big leagues. He's in Milwaukee. He's been playing out of Nashville, right down the street here, AAA. Now I just read that he just made it back up to the big leagues.
Nice.
Yeah, Divine Child's own.
Yep.
Very nice. Local kid. Yeah.
Yeah, Divine Child is in Dearborn, Michigan, which is the same town I grew up in. I think he grew up in Westland, but he still lives in the area.
Yeah, he's an easy guy to root for. His family still lives in Southeast Michigan.
Yeah, and I think 2 years ago when he played for the Tigers, I think he hit like 30 home runs, but then he had a slide.
It was that COVID year where everyone hit 30 home runs.
No, I'm saying I think last year 2020, 2022, 2023 hit 30, but he slid last year, so they
DFA'd him.
Yeah, then now he clawed his way back in. So hopefully he does well. I always love it when the hometown kid makes it. So,
oh yeah. On a side note, I went to the same high school as Greg Lazinski, the Bull, from the Phillies. I don't remember him, but anyways, he was a local guy, and he went on to the Phillies. And anyways, at the high school there was a water tower out past center field. And the legend story is he hit the thing on a fly. But if you remember the Bull, Fleekster, he was. Anyways, I don't know. That was a hometown guy there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of home runs, John, how about Judge?
He knows how to do that very well. He has gotten pretty good at those home runs. How can you just get some guys on base for him?
Yeah, 30 before the All-Star break, quite impressive.
That is pretty nice.
How big is he?
He does. It's the flick of the wrist for him. You know what I mean? When you're that big, it's hardly power. It's just recoil.
How big is he, John? Like 6'8"?
Like 6'10"?
Yeah, he's a big dude, man.
He's huge.
He's a big dude.
But yeah, that's it's good to see him. You know, obviously we expect it from him, but we're getting some good numbers out of the big names.
I guess Nashville's got NASCAR in it. NASCAR's in town this weekend, Fleekster.
Yeah, I was driving to work the other day and I saw a NASCAR semi broke down on the side of the interstate.
Stole the car, took it for a joyride.
Did they have the pit crew out there? Did you change?
It was like a generic. I don't know what was in there. It must have been like equipment or something because it was a generic NASCAR semi.
He's 6'7", 282.
How big? 6'7", 282?
282.
That's a defensive end, a big defensive end in the NFL.
Yeah.
Holy cow. That's huge.
Yeah, it's enormous.
Yeah, have you seen his OPS, John? It's like 1.13 or something. Like
that's because he's a new style baseball player. It's extra base hits or nothing, or strikeouts. He either waits on the fastball or strikes out on the slider.
I think a cool story, golf story is the 15-year-old Eric, gets to the PGA tournament level. That's amazing to me.
Yeah, so the Rocket Mortgage is this week in Detroit, and a 15-year-old Miles Russell made his pro debut this weekend. Shot even par, missed the cut, but it's a hell of a story. Kid's not even hit puberty yet, He's out there with grown men.
I mean, he shot even par on a PGA tour. Right. That's insane.
I just don't understand it. I mean, at such a young age, how can he already be that good? He must have.
What do you mean? It's golf. It's golf. You practice if you get, what I mean? Like, it's not that hard to believe.
That's why
it's an individual sport. You're not relying on anybody else but yourself.
Yeah, you got to put the time in. That's for sure.
Oh, I'm sure he did. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to sell the kid short. I don't think he's lucky. I think
I don't
he's been on a golf course his whole life, probably.
Yeah, probably has top instructors, all kinds of stuff. Yep.
Golf isn't a game you can fake. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have good days and bad days, but even on bad days, you're shooting 2 over or par. You know what I mean? That
Right.
It's not like me and you, where it'd be like, oh, I stopped keeping track at 150. So
I stopped keeping track after the hole 3.
yeah, yeah. Once I started writing double-digit numbers down, I was like, forget it.
Where's he from?
Jackson, Florida, maybe down south somewhere.
What's his name?
Miles Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah, on those bad days, I start drinking a beer a hole instead of keeping score.
Yeah, exactly. I like to plug in Trent Dennison from Middle Tennessee area. He's a golf instructor. He's very good. Check him out on Facebook. He's I took one lesson with him, and he fixed something right off the bat that I didn't even know. I've been playing golf for a long time, and I'm not that good at it, but he noticed something right away, bam. And so look him up, guys, if you're looking to take a lesson in Middle Tennessee area. Facebook.
Jacksonville Beach, Florida. You were right.
Florida.
Yeah, Trent just started this little side hustle, and I've golfed with him last year in a tournament, and man, the kid is good.
Oh, yeah, he's about my size, and he can just knock the rubber off the ball. I mean, it's straight as an arrow. He's very talented, and he's a very good instructor, so I highly recommend him.
He's also on the Minutes Wisely team.
Yes, he is.
Nice.
You want to talk some NBA, John? We got
Celtics.
We got a world championship.
Hey, he wants to talk about Michael Jordan being a fraud.
Yeah. We can segue into how Michael Jordan's numbers aren't what they say they are. So.
All right, John, you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean I think it's big news. I think it removes him from any type of conversation. He's a Hall of Famer in my opinion now.
What's the specifics?
You can't. So a journalist with Yahoo Sports I think he started through conversation where people were like, yeah, back in the day, I used to boast so-and-so's numbers and, when they were home and give them the benefit of the doubt, stuff like that. And it started with a conversation. And then he went back and watched six home Bulls games, and where Michael Jordan in those 6 games recorded 12 steals. And in the box score, they wrote down 28.
Damn.
So, I mean, that's huge. That's a lot of numbers. And they play a lot of home games, including playoff games.
Yeah.
Well, and if I remember correctly, that year he won Defensive Player of the Year, right? And it was contested, right? Like that's one of the.
They're all contested every year.
No, I'm saying before this even came out, wasn't that Defensive Rookie of the Year one of the more controversial ones?
I mean, you're talking about these
steals. So these steals, like really, if this is true, these steals really propelled him to win that award.
I mean, I would say that not just that 6-game stretch. Imagine what over the other home games, how many added numbers he got. He shouldn't even have been in the conversation. So it's, I think that, and again, I'm biased. You guys already know how I feel about this, but like, in my opinion, I'm not going to entertain that conversation anymore. As far as the GOAT conversation, it's Kobe, Shaq, Kareem, and LeBron. I don't see anybody else deserving anymore.
Well, John, I don't think John, not to be a wise guy here, but you didn't entertain it before you knew all them stats.
I talked to you guys about it.
Jordan.
I mean, everybody talked about it. It's just not, I entertained it. I just didn't agree with it.
All right,
but now fair. I just don't think
hold
it's.
On. That's fair.
I just, that's huge to me. That's huge.
I don't know. It's a wild story from a credible source. Like Yahoo News isn't Deadspin. It isn't like this is actual
hard evidence.
Right.
Yeah. I mean
he's still going to go down as the GOAT because he was for so long, but
I don't know that changes my opinion on him.
That's what I mean.
He wasn't he wasn't personally padding his stats.
And he didn't go 6-0 in the finals because of 12 steals.
Right.
You know what I mean? They won those games anyways.
Right.
The stats don't really affect his record at all.
Right.
So
Yeah.
as far as
I guess my question, and I don't really, I mean, basketball is probably my fourth favorite of the major four. You know, like I'm pretty lackadaisical in it. But how big of a deal is that Defensive Player of the Year award? That single award. Does that Defensive Player of the Year award propel him more so into the GOAT conversation? Because if it does, then these steals really do take into question what's going. Like does that Defensive Player of the Year propel him above LeBron more so?
It's not his shiniest trophy. I'll put it to you that way, but it's definitely.
Well, John, isn't he the only one that won the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year?
Was it that year?
I don't know. I
don't think it was that year.
I think he's the only one that's ever won the Defensive Player of the Year and the MVP. In the
now,
same
who's
season.
to say that year the stats weren't boosted?
Well, yeah.
You know, that's where I'm having a trouble with, because from how I saw Michael's career, he was great because he was a champion. He also had the stats to back it. So this is kind of like, okay, you're taking a chip off of the back end of his stuff, but he's still 6-0 in the finals. He still was untouched. He's put together a regular season. Like, they won.
Have you gone back and looked at his stats compared from like home games compared to away games? Were they drastic?
Yeah, that's why they looked into it. It was a very drastic difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know if it continued after that, because the story kind of died. I don't know if they wanted him to dig up anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you notice, that story wasn't on ESPN. ESPN did not report that story.
People want to hear that.
Right.
I honestly don't want to hear it. To be honest with you, it doesn't. Whether you think he's the GOAT or not, he paved the way. And
right. And if they were doing that with Michael, who's to say?
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Yeah,
it probably is happening with everybody. Oh, just give him the steal. Give him the base hit. That was good enough. Give him the base hit. Okay. Yeah. Was it a base hit though? You know what I mean? Or was it his steal? Didn't the other guy tip it out of his hands? He just picked it up. You know what I mean? So it's.
Yeah, I don't know if we want to open up this can of worms.
But who's going to go back and watch all? I'm sure you find somebody, but.
I mean, there's stat dorks that would do it. If I had the time, I would.
And then on top of it,
I would do it. But
I've been watching plenty of games on like the ESPN app, and it just says defensive team rebound. You know what I mean? Like, who do they give those stats to? And I know at the end of the game, they go and change stuff. If you've ever done DraftKings before, you know that they change things.
I mean, look at fantasy football. They've taken yards away,
fine tune all this stuff, and I think that has a lot to do. Oh, this is his 300th hit. Give it to him.
I don't think that's a good perspective and news point you brought up, John. But I don't think folks like myself will sway me any as far as for me. Considering,
well, of course, you're from Chicago.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it to.
Yeah, I mean, no, but I mean, because he's from Chicago and they were winning championships, a guy like me who only watches football basically and a little baseball got interested in the NBA. So I actually homed in and watched him over the years because of him. But after he retired, I'll admit it. I did not watch LeBron throughout his career. I stopped watching the NBA. I'm really not interested anymore, and so I don't know.
To be honest with you, 12 steals in 6 games is still 2 steals a game. That's still really good.
Right.
Like even in today's game, that's still good numbers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What else we got out there?
And on NBA news, the Celtics are champions. Have we talked about that?
Yeah.
There we go.
18th time.
Finally took one home, so that's good.
Yeah. How about the John? You informed me the other day how overseas the basketball talent is so good. The first and second picks in the NBA round were both from France.
France, yeah, and so was last year's number 1 pick.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think they got tired of getting embarrassed on the big stage. We go to the Olympics and we used to just 20-point games all the way through. And then all of a sudden you show up and you get young kids like Luka Doncic, and he's coming in there and putting up 20 and 15. and 8 rebounds, and you're like, and they're playing fundamental basketball. Tony Parker basketball. Tony Parker was also French.
That's right.
They're playing that Spurs
Yeah.
style of basketball of just pass the ball, don't turn it over, and put it in the hoop. That's all we got to do, and you win. That's basketball. You know,
Right.
It's not hard to put it in the hoop. You just got to do it more times than the other team.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody out there that's watching. By the way, thank you.
Plus, they, I mean, some of these guys are freaks. You know, like Victor Wembanyama is a freak. I mean, he would be. That's crazy. So he's, you know, that's just he was just happened to be born in France. So,
right.
But yeah, I think they're getting more competitive. They want to compete in the Olympics, and they are going to. And I mean, the NBA is filled with players from all over the world.
Speaking of basketball in the Olympics, Caitlin Clark kind of got snubbed to get into the Olympics. I don't know. I feel like the WNBA missed the boat on that one.
Because they're messing up a lot of stuff with her. I feel.
Well,
like.
I think because they're trying to get the WNBA, from a marketing perspective, they're trying to promote it and make it bigger.
She's doing her part.
Yeah, but I mean, why wouldn't they put her on the Olympic team to keep the?
Why wouldn't they put her on the side of the plane, like a big old picture of her? I would put her everywhere. Like,
for real. And speaking of planes, because of her, now these WNBA players are flying on chartered flights versus commercial flights.
Good for her.
So hey guys,
I would have done the same thing.
Hey gals out there, your fellow WNBA people, why don't you hey, that's because of Caitlin Clark.
Jealousy, man.
Do what the NBA does when they get a great player. Treat them like the golden child. That's what they do. Every single one they get. Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kobe.
But we're talking about women here. They don't have that in them.
Yeah, and also
women hate that.
Instead of doing that, they're beating the shit out of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just
yeah, there's so much jealousy when it comes to that. It's bizarre.
But they hated on LeBron his whole career, and they still treated him like a golden child.
I don't think it's a gender issue because when MJ came into that league, they beat the heck out of him when he went in the paint as a rookie, just like they're doing with Clark. I think it's competitive spirit, no matter if you're female or male.
I feel like with MJ, though, they were beating him up with the play. I feel like with Clayton Clark, it's after the whistle. They're just like hitting her.
Yeah.
It's just not
like,
professional. With MJ, he was in the act of trying to take a layup, and they were just like, all right, clothesline him.
Right.
But with her, it's like, what are you doing? Give her a tech, throw her out. What is this? It's not basketball.
It's a fine line. They ought to put Ronda Rousey on her team, and the first person that checks her like that away from play, she'd go out there and do her UFC thing, and then that will stop it. The other teams will think twice about pushing her off, knocking her down when the play's
She's gonna get hurt.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though. People they hate fighting in basketball, so that's probably not the correct. What they need to do is talk to the freaking refs, and when that happens, start kicking these ladies out of
Treat her
the
like
game.
a golden child. If you get close to her, it's a foul. It's the same thing that they did with Michael. It's the same thing they do with LeBron. Like if you get close to him, it's a foul. Put them on the line.
But you know what, John?
Basketball.
The specific foul I'm talking about is the play was over. She was walking towards the baseline, and the other player went boom and knocked her on the ground.
Yeah, that's just.
Not only have feet her up, I would have kicked her out of the
Throw
game.
her out.
Yeah.
Throw her out. Give her a suspension.
Send her to the locker room. Give her a 5-game suspension. Dock her money.
Send a message.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Send a message. Yep.
Send a message to the rest of them. So when somebody else wants to do it, they're like, well, we've got these next 2 games coming up, and I really can't miss them.
Right. Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah, exactly. Send a message.
Yeah, they got to start treating her like the player that she is. I think that she is.
Absolutely.
She's taken the ridicule. She's learning. She has gotten over that hump. I think it's about time we accept it for the basketball player that she is. Doesn't matter what gender she is.
If they did that, would she have better numbers? If she didn't have to worry about coming out with a bloody nose, would she have better numbers?
If she could play confidently, yeah, I think.
Yeah, her numbers are already sick for a rookie.
Yeah, she's got starting what I thought Olympic team numbers, but most of her numbers are better than the girls on the Olympic teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All while she's getting her ass beat every game.
She's got to watch over her shoulder.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The WNBA missed the boat on that one. My opinion.
Yeah, they got to get their act together with this Caitlin Clark thing. Otherwise, it's going to fizzle out, and And she's just going to be dropping 40, and people are going to be like, oh, yeah, she does it all the time. No big deal.
Yeah. So I think since last time we've got on here and talked, there's been 3 championships. Forgot to bring up Tennessee just won a national championship last weekend. Was it
First
the
national championship in baseball.
first overall? Florida won their first Stanley Cup overall, but Tennessee's national championship, they played awesome all year long. But those couple of those playoff games, man, they were brutal, man. Tennessee, I don't know, is it nerves? I would assume it's nerves. I mean, a couple of plays out there looked like they were the Bad News Bears.
Yeah, I mean that's a big stage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that goes to
We're
show
talking
you how
about
much
children.
talent
We're
was on
talking
that team,
kids.
though. That they had the ability to flick a switch. It's like when you're playing a video game and you look up and you're like, "Man, I'm losing." Like, hold on, let me really focus here. And that's what they did. They would come in and really focus, and like that's when you're like, "Oh shit, like this team's good. Seems really good."
Yeah, I think it was that
They
one
hit the
first
ball
game.
hard.
Was it Florida State? They were getting their ass kicked, and then they
Yeah,
walked
Florida
it off
State.
in the 10th, 11
Yeah, it
to
was a
10.
big comeback. Wasn't it a
That
grand
was an
slam?
amazing game, man.
Well, and then, like you said, Fleekster, the Panthers, Florida beat the Canadian team. Florida
blew
seems
that.
to be the mecca for hockey right now. It's crazy. And that Connor McDavid from the Oilers, like Eric sent in the pre-show notes,
Yeah,
he did not go out there to accept his trophy,
which was the
And,
right move.
And I was going to say, for me, I wouldn't go out there and accept it either. After
No,
my
could
team
you imagine
loses.
going to the locker room and everybody's sulking and you bringing in that trophy? That would have been, he did the right move. And
Yeah,
not
just
only,
ship it to the house.
not only did he do that, but he stayed on the ice until every one of his single players skated off. He was the last one to get off the ice.
Hockey's it's a gentleman's sport.
It's a gentleman's sport after the game.
Well, I'm not saying they're polite and nice. I'm just saying they are gentlemen, though. They are
John,
most
know
of
what
those
you're
guys
saying.
are deep down are
Hold on, John.
guys you can go sit and have a
Fleek,
beer with.
Initially, Fleek and I were like, "What?" But no, we
Not
get
a
what you're
soft
saying.
sport. Not a soft sport.
Yeah.
Not what I meant by
Right.
that. No.
Yeah,
Very hard.
We know what you meant. But at first
but
we were like,
I
"What?"
respect the heck out of hockey.
Hockey players are on another level, man.
Absolutely.
They'll pull you off, sew up, put 30 stitches in your face. 10 minutes later, you're back on the ice. It's crazy. It's crazy what these
and then
dudes
they'll
go through.
apologize after the game. Hi, sorry. I really didn't mean to do that.
I mean, people say football is a gladiator sport, but I would argue that hockey is a gladiator just as bad, if not worse.
I think hockey's probably worse.
Football stops right after contact. It stops. Hockey, it's like you get nailed, and it's like get up, go. Like
that's not stop.
I just got slammed into this glass wall,
and I think
on ice.
And I think hockey players are the most talented athletes out there. Why? Because they're on an 1/8-inch blade. They're going on a hard surface. Every time they get the puck, they got 4 or 5 other people trying to nail them and knock them off. You got to have hand-eye coordination. You got to have stamina.
Ice.
You got to be tough.
The one guy, he had a heart attack and died on the ice. They revived him, and he wanted to go back in. Like, no, you're going to the hospital, dude.
That's crazy.
I mean, there's stories after stories like that. One dude gets his carotid artery sliced open on the ice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nonstop, these stories.
Well,
and they just want to go right back in and play.
In football, Ronnie Lott cut his finger off because he didn't want to wear a cast or some crazy shit like that. I mean, but hockey's a whole nother level, I think, like we're all saying.
Yeah, that Ronnie Lott thing, man, that dude was an anomaly. These hockey players, they're a dime a dozen that would do that.
Drew Bledsoe almost died, and he never played again. He's like, I'm going to open a winery.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Drew Bledsoe. When he got hit, he went and opened a winery after that.
Yeah.
Hit so hard.
With saying his name, you have Joe Theismann and the dude from 49ers, Alex Smith. Well, compound fractures, bones sticking out of their leg.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Alex Smith almost lost his leg.
Yeah.
Well,
gross.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Got anything else on your show notes before you wrap this up so I can get my butt to church?
No, I about covered it.
All right. Well, we took last Sunday off. We had Everybody was kind of busy, life catches up to you, but we're back at it. We don't miss too many Sundays, but also on the nonprofit side, it's going really well. 9/11, we have a big golf outing. A couple days after that, we have a big concert here in Middle Tennessee. I have some other big news that I don't really want to talk about right now because when it comes into fruition, I will share it with everybody. But something major happened this week, and I can't wait to break the news. But till next Sunday, people, peace and
Go
love.
Yanks.
Thanks
Go Yanks.
for watching, people.
Yes, thank you for sticking around. See you guys.